Hello. Welcome to Beam Them Up. I'm Monica Renee, and today I wanted to talk to you about the real cost of staying on your 9 to 5. So if you're still working a 9 to 5, this video is for you. So let's get into it. Have you ever wondered what your 9 to 5 is costing you? Most of us don't really look at it as what it's costing us. We're looking at it as a paycheck, right? But what is the value of your job? Let's break down the hidden price that you're paying when you're stuck on a 9 to 5 traditional job. The first thing is to understand that your time is one of the most valuable assets that you have. So I'm sure you've heard of the saying, exchanging money for time. And that's what you do when you work a traditional 9 to 5 job. You are essentially spending time on a job to make money. Now, when I started calculating how much time I was spending just preparing for work, commuting to work, and the hours that I had to spend at work, it was mind-boggling. For starters, my commute was an hour each way. I worked for 8 hours and then I had 1 hour for lunch. So I was obligated to be in that work vicinity for 9 hours of my day. That's already 11 hours. I haven't even calculated the fact that most mornings it would take me between an hour and a half to 2 hours to prepare to get to work. So now you're talking 13 hours, okay, that I've spent just at work, on lunch for an hour, commuting, and preparing to get there. So now when I come back home, you have to get at least 7 to 8 hours of sleep. So now you're taking me into 18, 19 hours, okay? I only have 3 hours left to prepare meals, deal with my family, and every other thing that I have to do, right? To just prepare for the next day. So I'm only allotting myself 3 hours a day and then put myself back on repeat. I wasn't happy with that at all. And I felt like I wasn't doing what I know that I was called to do. I was doing something totally different. And when I started breaking down the numbers, I was like, oh no, somebody's getting way too much of my time. Okay. And other things are not. And like I say, everything in life has to be balanced. So when I wasn't seeing that balance, it was really getting me upset. I even remember when I first started a job, I was missing important events. Like one of my aunts had passed away, right? She transitioned. So I wasn't able to go to her funeral because I didn't have any PTO. I couldn't take off. I had just started. So imagine being able to design your own schedule, right? Working when you're most productive and still having time for your family, your friends, your hobbies, resting. That's the power when you step out of that 9 to 5 box. Income, let's talk about income. Let's talk about income limitations. So, on a traditional job, I don't know what that is on my finger. On a traditional job, someone decides how much you're supposed to make. And rightfully so, it's someone's business and they know what their budget is, right? So they decide your salary, they decide how much you're going to get for a raise, and if you get promoted, how much that would be. That's all determined by upper management, right? Or your HR department. I remember when I got promoted, I actually had to negotiate the salary because they wanted to give me a lower rate. I mean, even though it was a promotion, but I was like, wait a minute, I think I deserve more than that. So we had to negotiate. And of course, they didn't give me the high end, they gave me the mid range, but we did negotiate and I accepted it. The inflation rate is at 3%. Although the federal government has I guess they limited to 2%. Right? They don't really want the Federal Reserve doesn't really want inflation to go over 2%, and we're at 3% right now as of January 2025. Back in 2022, mid 2022, the inflation rate was at 9.1%. Okay, so that was only 3 years ago. So go figure. It went up and nothing ever went down, even though it's 3% now, but it was 9.1% then. So does it go up 3% on the 9.1? I mean, I don't know. Or did it go down? I mean, I'm not sure how it works. But we see how high prices are. Everyone has been complaining about these outrageous prices, especially for eggs because of some kind of bird flu. I think if it's a flu from the birds, the eggs should be cheaper. Don't you think so? Why would the eggs be more money? But anyway, I digress. So even when I got my promotion, right, the salary didn't really make any difference because we were in inflation. So everything that I got was like, it was no real big difference. It was like, okay, so now I just got to pay more. Even though I got more, I'm paying more for other things, right? As an entrepreneur, your income potential is a lot higher, right? Because it's not based on time. It's based on the effort that you put in. It's based on your creativity. It's based on your business strategies, not whether or not your HR director likes you and tells you, okay, well, this is the scale and you belong here. You know what I mean? No, it has nothing to do with that. And then we have to talk about the our health and the stress that comes along with a lot of 9 to 5 traditional jobs. Long work hours, I already mentioned that. And limited physical movement, I mentioned that. Like I'm literally somewhere for 9 hours that I really don't I don't want to really be there. And then I have to I'm there for 8 hours actually working. Okay, you get your breaks in between. You get that 1 hour. I would have rather sacrificed the lunch break and just do my 8 hours and go home. You know what I mean? But now I have to stop, take a lunch break. And if I didn't bring my lunch, then I'm stuck buying garbage out in the street that's not even healthy for me. I mean, I did my best, but at the end of the day, a lot of times when you're under stress, you start eating things that's going to give you more stress, right? You start eating things like, okay, I need some chips, I need some chocolate, I need something to keep me up. And, so you're doing stuff that you really shouldn't be doing. You're eating things that you really shouldn't be doing because you're bored. You're thinking about all the other things that you could be doing with your life and you're not. Okay. So although my job wasn't very stressful, some jobs are more stressful than the job that I was on, right? Because some jobs they have, some people have heavy workloads. Like other jobs that I had, the workload was very heavy, right? And then you have deadlines, like really tight deadlines, not deadlines that you create for yourself. Someone else created the deadline for you, and you have to get that done, right? And then we talk about job security. That was one of the issues that I was having on my job is because they started having these massive layoffs, and you're looking around and the people that you worked with for so long are no longer there. And it creates this type of stressful environment because now everybody's like, okay, well, we want to stay. So, you know, people have agendas because they want to be the last man standing, right? Oh, well, I don't want to get laid off. So now you're going to be, you're going to brown nose everybody so that you can stay. You know, all these kind of crazy things go on under these type of stressful situations. When I left my 9 to 5, I honestly felt a certain level of relief. Maybe you could call it freedom. I don't know what it was, but I felt so good. I felt like I got my life back. I can do something with my life. I can be myself. And what is life when you can't be yourself? And it's not like I wasn't being myself, but you know, you're in the perimeters of what other people are doing. Like being at work at 8 o'clock in the morning, that's not being myself. I really don't want to do anything at 8 o'clock in the morning. I want to sit, drink my coffee, maybe watch a video, a YouTube video. You know what I'm saying? I may want to do whatever, you know, do some exercise at 8 o'clock. I mean, I'm not trying to go to the gym at 4 o'clock in the morning. You know what I mean? And I've done it. You know, I'll get up early before the sun comes up and I'm in the gym and then I got to go back home and change and go to work. It was just too much. So, I mean, for some of you guys, that's great. That's your routine. You do it. You're good. No problem. For me, not so much. So, your physical and mental health is priceless. And when you create a business that you actually love, that could be one of the most healthiest choices that you're ever going to make. Then we have to talk about missed opportunities. And I think I told you I missed the opportunity of going to see my aunt, going to my aunt's funeral. Because why? I couldn't take time off. Someone was controlling my time. Every day that you stay on a job that doesn't fulfill you as an individual, that's not helping your family, is another day that you're delaying your dreams. Because if you have children and you only have 4 to 5 hours max to spend time with them, and in that time you're cooking, you're cleaning, you're helping kids with homework. Like, I don't know what your situation is. Maybe your kids are grown and they're out of the home. And maybe it's just you and your husband. Or maybe it's just you, or maybe it's just your husband, or whatever. You know what I mean. You still need time for self-care. And if you're rushing through your self-care to be prepared to help somebody else become rich because you need the money, it's still not balancing out. Now, listen closely. I'm not advocating anybody leaving their job because that's your bread and butter. You need your money, right? However, if you're unhappy working your traditional 9 to 5, maybe it's time you start thinking about doing something else and making changes in your life. Because we do get too comfortable, right? I know I was comfortable, like, okay, the paycheck is coming in, I'm loving it. You know what I'm saying? Because it was pretty decent. But at the end of the day, I still wasn't happy. Even with the promotion, I was not happy. I knew that, and I don't want to get religious on you, but let's just say I felt like God wanted more for me, right? That's not where I was supposed to stay. And you can learn stuff, but you don't grow in the way that you may need to grow. right? Because you need to expand, but you can't expand outside of that box because the box confines you. It confines what you say. It confines the hours that you spend. It confines the movement that you can make within that certain amount of time. I remember Eric Thomas. He was saying something about he left his job because he wasn't able to do the thing. He wanted a day off or something. I think his wife wasn't well and he needed to take a day off. And he felt like I have to actually ask another person to take time off to take care of the person that I basically love. They shouldn't have that much control over your life. This is your life. And he became the number one motivational speaker out there, right? I mean, that's what he says. I really don't know, but I mean, I've heard of him. I've listened to his videos. He's very inspiring, and he has his own business. He's not working for anyone. So the world needs your gifts, and no one is going to know about your gifts if you're hiding behind your 9 to 5. You're sitting in meetings that don't even matter to you, don't have anything to do with you, and you're buried in other people's to-do lists, right? Do this, do that, do this, do that. So I just wanted to say, if this video resonated with you in any kind of way, maybe it's time for you to rewrite your story. Whether you're seeking freedom, flexibility, or fulfillment, starting your own business could be the key to unlock it all. If you're ready to take control of your time, your income, and your future, my business development course is here to help you. Click the link in the description box and start your business today. You don't need to leave your 9 to 5. This is a great time to get the information before you make that leap. So when you make the leap, you are confident enough to know that you have already set something up and that you can just go ahead. Because what the world needs right now is not another unhappy person. The world needs people that are happy. The world needs people that love what they're doing. And if you love what you're doing on your 9 to 5, fantastic. I'm happy for you. We're all not meant to have a business, right? Some people need to continue to do what they do. But if you have a bigger mission and a bigger purpose in your life, then I really would suggest getting this business course. It's not even just about learning about business, it's about learning about yourself. And that's what's so amazing. And I'm not trying to hype it up because I have the course, but it has done some fantastic things in my own life. It put me on a different path. It changed my mindset. And I thought that I was on the right path. But every little bit of information that you get, you just never know. I was in your shoes. I was thinking about starting a business. I had a business idea. I was trying to do this and that and that. And then someone told me about the business development course. And when I took it, I was amazed because then everything started coming together, right? All your ideas, everything that you've been planning and thinking and saying, I know I deserve better than to be stuck on a 9 to 5. I know I have more talent than this. I know that, these people ain't really recognizing my talent, right? They gonna recognize somebody else that's their friend that they like, but mine gets stuffed under the rug. So I can't depend on someone to say, oh, Monica's doing a fantastic job. I mean, you get that during your evaluation. And I really didn't have that problem. But what I'm saying is that sometimes you're not the chosen one at work. Okay? You don't get the blessing at work. So, how do you get your blessing? What is God saying to you? Is it time for you to make that move? Let me know in the comments section. I would love to hear from you. Until next time, peace and love.